there. Welcome to That Dang Dad. My name is Phil, and hope you brought your swim trunks because we're about to cannonball into fun. Last couple of weeks we've talked about some kind of heavy, kind of deep dive philosophy stuff, so I thought this week we'd kind of switch it up a little bit, and I want to talk about everyone's favorite racist uncle, H.P. Lovecraft. Now, if you somehow have managed to avoid every single book and graphic novel and video game and heavy metal album cover that's been inspired by his stuff, I wanted to give you a quick recap. So Howard Phillips Lovecraft was a author. He wrote short stories between like 1914 and 1930s-ish. You probably know his most famous creation, a giant, ancient, tentacle-faced, ocean-dwelling god named Cthulhu. Now, I pronounce it Cthulhu. I've also heard it pronounced Cthulhu. And according to Lovecraft himself, human beings don't really have the proper mouth architecture to actually pronounce his name as it's pronounced in real life. But according to him, if you were going to do your best to do it, it would be something like or something like that. So Lovecraft mainly dealt with themes of existential dread and forbidden knowledge. Kind of a typical Lovecraft story would be somebody opens a book or goes to an old temple that they shouldn't have gone to, and they catch just this little glimpse of something unfathomably old and mysterious and ancient, and it usually drives them insane. And, you know, we've all been there. But anyway, I've read just about every single Lovecraft story, the ones that he did in collaboration with other people, the ones that his friends wrote in tribute to him, and the ones that his fans have written, you know, who've gone on to become great horror authors and fantasy authors and things like that. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I'm so just drawn to his work. So, first things first, let's be clear up front. H.P. Lovecraft was a big ol' racist. And not just in his personal life, it has influenced his writing as well. It's actually pretty difficult to separate the art from the artist in this case, because his antipathy towards savage races informed a lot of the things that he wrote. It's hashtag problematic for sure. I'm able to look past it. I don't blame other people that aren't. But anyway, I just wanted to say that up front. But anyway, a lot of times when pop culture wants to make something Lovecraftian, they usually just add like a tentacle monster, or they name it something like Abzaloth or Cthulhu or something like that. And to me, this kind of misses what makes Lovecraft scary. It's not tentacles and weird names. It is scale and scope. And so I want to take a passage from a Lovecraft story called Nyarlathotep. The narrator says, "As if beckoned by those who had gone before, I half floated between the titanic snowdrifts, quivering and afraid into the sightless vortex of the unimaginable. Screamingly sentient, dumbly delirious, only the gods that were can tell. A sickened, sensitive shadow writhing in hands that are not hands, and whirled blindly past ghastly midnights of rotting creation, corpses of dead worlds with sores that were cities, charnel winds that brush the pallid stars and make them flicker low. Beyond the worlds, vague ghosts of monstrous things, half-seen columns of unsanctified temples that rest on nameless rocks beneath space and reach up to dizzy vacua above the spheres of light and darkness. And through this revolting graveyard of the universe, the muffled, maddening beating of drums and the thin, monotonous whine of blasphemous flutes from inconceivable, unlighted chambers beyond time The detestable pounding and piping whereunto dance slowly, awkwardly, and absurdly the gigantic, tenebrous, ultimate gods. For me, Lovecraft has this uncanny ability to capture things that are extremely big and extremely old and extremely unknowable. And this causes what Martin Heidegger would call angst. Stephen Asma, writing about Martin Heidegger, says that for Heidegger, angst is an indefinite threat. The danger is nowhere in particular and yet everywhere. Like Lovecraft's cosmic fear, Heidegger's angst is an ineffable mood of metaphysical proportion. Angst doesn't make me aware of a particular threat, but instead draws me out of my ordinary utilitarian ways of operating in the day-to-day world and makes me aware of my existential quandary. Who and what am I? So the obvious question is, who would like that? Why would anybody like that and seek it out? For me, it's because a nameless horror never loses its shock value. You know, werewolves and vampires and zombies, those are all scary kind of the first time you encounter them or when you encounter them unexpectedly, but over time you learn the rules and you learn the tricks and the tropes and you kind of know what to expect. But what if there were no tricks? What if there were no rules? What if that noise you hear isn't some goblin in your basement, but it's the barest echo of some chittering, nameless shadow from beyond space and time? When Lovecraft is at his best, there's just no recovery from his nightmares. You only see a sliver, just enough to know that you could not possibly fathom the truth. Just enough for your mind to fixate on what it could be. And nothing is scarier than the horrors that you reserve for yourself. So what scares you? Is it something cosmic or something more conventional? Feel free to shoot me a comment and let me know. Also, I covet your likes and subscriptions, so if you like what I'm doing, please slap a whole bunch of buttons on the UI until I get that burst of dopamine that I've been craving so much. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching, and sweet dreams.